I'm John Woosnam, and I'm retired, as must be obvious, and I was asked to talk about novels which had influenced me when I was younger. And the first one I'd like to mention is The Wind in the Willows, which was read to me at school by a teacher who enthused me to learn to read. A fascinating book, beautiful, and we hung on every word. I especially liked the bits where they dealt with Mr. Toad, who was a boastful fellow who flew around the country in a noisy car, and he got taken down a peg or two. Well, that was the first book which undoubtedly stirred me into learning not only to read, but then to write. And this was followed up by a headmaster who came to read it to us one day, and he was reading from Great Expectations, where they were walking out on the marshes and there was a thick mist, and suddenly this figure appears, and it's Magwitch, the escaped convict. And that again riveted me, and I thought, this is really fascinating. And it taught me, because I was struggling to write at the time, to fill out my sentences, to make really descriptive paragraphs in the stead, or in the footsteps of Dickens, if you like. And then the last one, I mean, several other books I could mention, The Grapes of Wrath, which was a bit later in life, which I found very stirring, and To Kill a Mockingbird. Both of those are American novels, but they were novels which stirred the conscience and got you interested in moral questions. And then I read Moby Dick, and Moby Dick was everything. It raises lots of moral questions. It's very difficult perhaps to read. All sorts of questions discussed about right and wrong. They were a very mixed crew, which was very good in the sense that there were people on the boat who were not white men, but they were respected for their great ability, which was fairly early on. And I thought that this was a great lesson in accepting people from other cultures. I mean, they couldn't have been from very much different cultures than some of these chaps. I think it's desperately important to help children to learn to read. If you open the door for them, don't worry, if they're interested, they'll quickly take over. And with a marvellous library like this, they will go and find books that they like, and it will open up the world to them. It's you can't do anything more valuable, in my view, than teach or train a child to be able to read. People talk about teaching children. You don't really teach children. You open opportunities for them, and then they teach themselves. And nothing is more important than that than reading. That's why I think it's important. I think it's essential.